Our way is to come together under the eyes of our Shuyukh, under the eyes of our Shaykh, Shaykh Hisham, and Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, and Grand Shaykh, and Awliya, to be under the eyes of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and take lights and blessings. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, Sayyidina Awwalin wa Akhirin. I was looking at some strange books and strange people who ideas about this universe. In olden times, they believed that the stars and planets were the same heavens. They were alive. Those points of light were alive, sending their influence on this planet, on Earth. And I listened to somebody last night. He began to look at the science of how the sun is constructed. And he came to the conclusion the whole universe is alive. The stars are alive. It's a plasma, a different form of matter. It's like a life force. Everything alive. Behind it all, heavenly. What makes something alive, alive? Okay, say the stars are alive. We're alive. Something has to be behind it. No matter how far you go with Earth and planets and stars, and finally there has to be the one making everything to be granting life to the creation, as much as it may be. And alhamdulillah, we're living in that magnificent creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shaykh Muhyiddin ibn Arabi al-Basri, he looked to us with his love. We believe awliya are alive. Quran says, don't think those who died on the way of Allah is dead. They're alive, only you don't. That's the ayat. Don't say those who
ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون.
They glory in the favors that Allah granted them. So we believe they're alive. They look to us. Shaykh Nazim al-Basri used to say his sight was more sharp after we passed through this life. So we believe like that. He said, what did he say? Madad. Like a bird coming to rest on a branch. Thoughts. You want to catch it, the bird flew. Wait for another one to come back. He said, alhamdulillah, I landed again. That bird or another bird. What you're saying, oh bird. Okay. He said, that bird, that when you see something, try to look to what's behind it. That's the point for this. They've had all different kinds of philosophy. I was reading Al-Kindi, about the influence of the stars and planets. What's behind it? Every layer has something behind it. Imam al-Ghazali al-Basim said everything is light, different frequencies or densities of light, from the coarsest, hardest substance to the most ethereal. Each level loves the level above it, yearns to reach that level of light. And Shaykh Muhyiddin said, look what's behind it when you see something. Holy Quran says, فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ أَلَمْ تَرَىٰ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ. Have you not seen your Lord? Oh, we saw our Lord. sleeping, restful, what we know about sleep. Look, he said, look to the shadow, for instance. What's moving that shadow? Removed it. And from there, so many others. Who's moving the stars and planets? Who's making those lights to reach? What those lights mean? When you look to a planet, when you look to a star, when you look to the sun, what's in that light that's coming? This earth is dependent on the sun. Its life comes. If the sun goes out, nothing left on earth. What's in that light? When you see something from Allah's science and creation, try to see what's behind it. Who's behind it? Try to move up through levels. What's behind that light? Either through theoretical knowledge or witness, really. When you see someone, everyone is created by a Rabb, a Lord, Rububiyyah. There is behind every human being a Lord, a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, different from the other names. Jabbar is not like Qahar, is not like Rahim, is not like Wadud, is not like Aziz. They're all one Allah, Ismul Jamia, who gathers all the names together, but each characteristic is different effects. When you see someone or something, try to make your equipment to pick up what's behind it. Shaykh Muhyiddin put in Shaykh Doer a table. Write down the different names and to try and check off when you see something, figure out this is Rahman, Rahim. Try and fix it in the imagination. Even in theory, to try and awaken the real firasa. Firasa, what's firasa? Firasa, insight. Insight. To be able to look to a face and catch right away. It's a person. Baba Tam, Hussein's father, Abdul Rahman. He had that. He was a businessman, very shrewd. Anyone came to him, quickly he could understand who was full of hot air, who had something real, and quickly he could spot it. 1 second. Had that penetration. And we're asking to develop that firasa, to be able to know what's what. When you see a sunset, when you see a tree, when you see a cat or a dog or a bird or something, what's behind it? Nothing going by itself. Sheikh Nazim al-Basim, he told a story for Imam al-Ghazali al-Basim. One of the khidmat service he was doing for the Ummah was to stand on the watchtowers of the frontier by the sea, watching, see the enemy is approaching. It was at the watchtowers watching. And some skeptics, call them skeptics or unbelievers or what you want to call them, they were saying everything is going by itself. This earth is moving by itself. Sun and moon is moving by itself. Everything moving by itself. And Ghazali, you say you might be right, but you're scientists. We have to check if things are moving by themselves. And they saw out in the sea a boat coming, a ship, by itself, coming to the beach. Okay. Sheikh Nasser put 19 sailors driving that ship. If 19 sailors to drive that ship, what about this earth? Who's driving it? They need to move on its perfect course, not to run into Jupiter or Mars or Pluto or Neptune. All of them moving. All of them moving. They have now computer models of all the asteroids coming around Earth. You wonder why every second something isn't smashing into Earth. There are millions of them coming everything on its orbit. Very rarely something. Who's driving it? Who's moving it? Everything has to have drivers and movers. Grant us to widen our idea a little bit. We think we see everything. We don't know everything. We don't see everything. Shaykh Hashem said to me, you can think everyone is a robot. And everyone is acting to you according to how you are with your Lord. Allah is moving them. One meaning, check your behavior and adab with your Lord. Second meaning, there's something moving. You see, everyone is animated by something. Arab, no one coming into existence by themselves. No one going out by themselves. Coming from Allah, going back to Allah. Someone died. Where they went? How they came to begin with. New ones coming. New generations. Different from past generations. This generation is not like your generation or my generation or my father's generation or his father's generation. Different characteristics, they're different. They're different. He's coming different. Different experience, different. How they had First World War, Second World War, Third World, because the ones who were in it died. They don't remember it anymore. That's the story for them. They didn't experience it. The ones who experience it, they're not ready to go back to that again. But new ones coming, I don't know. Who was the one that came? He was a teacher. He was teaching in Vietnam, of all places. Sammy? Who was the one? He was a teacher. Yeah, he was teaching. Yeah. He was teaching in Vietnam. And America fought a huge war for years and years in Vietnam when I was young, when I was your age. They were going to take me into the army. I was on the train to go downtown. And then they stopped the train and said, okay, everybody off. They say, why? Eisenhower died. He was the general and president after World War II. And bureaucracy being over this, they never called us again. We went on to the next batch. Where were we? Vietnam. We fought a terrible war. So many died, so many. He said the people in Vietnam now, that he was became a teacher there, said most of them, the average age is 30 and under. All young people. No one remembers now. It finished at war 74, 73. Everyone alive now, none of them remembers it. It's the story that their parents or grandparents told. They don't remember it. The people living now don't remember it. Traditions are lost. They're trying to make a new kind of traditions for people. No one remembers the old ones. It'll become like that. They don't remember. Traditional society, the values handed down. No, cut. How to strengthen our families, keep our families ties. It's important because otherwise values is going to be lost. Root is going to be, branch is going to be cut from the root. What's behind it? Oh, what is it? It's like mushrooms growing without root. We have a mushroom generation now. No root. Nothing. They don't know anymore who they are, where they came from. Not to have a center. It's all Shuan Road. Not to have a center is important. If you don't know who you are, where you came from, you're like a mushroom. Anything come take you. What's behind it? It comes back to that. What's behind it? Everyone has a Rabb. People have to know that. They came here by a Lord, by a name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, an order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Ahad, Ya Samad. making to be in existence. You have a root. And that the one making, ordering, is making it to move. I have to think about it. We have to think about it. Allah is making everything to move, be in motion. To think different kinds of thoughts. What he's thinking, I don't know. Allah. You know what he's thinking? Allah. One name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reflecting through him, through him, through him. New generation. Look what's behind it. Try to see what's behind it. Well, how it's happening. To go up level by level through the lights of what's happening. Fa'ali Hakiki, the real doer. When something happens, try to find the real doer. Level by level, level by level, level by level, level by level. What happened to the speaker? His mind was cut through Holy Ramadan. He was not what he's saying. Alhamdulillah. We like, what was that? Majlub. We showed him his bowl. I see. Oh, bless you. There's one Arabic guy, he's a bit dali. We asked him the translation of one dua, respecting this means Allah says that no. The meaning of this dua is if you go downtown and park in front of a fire hydrant, you'll have trouble with the police. How do you find that meaning? Alhamdulillah. Some people, their farasa is developed to a different level. They can jump from level to level. We can't follow them. How they got there? We're looking first level. They're looking 10th level. Well, may Allah grant us that insight to know something about our surroundings. Ameen. Anybody understood anything from this? I didn't understand anything.